Hi, I'm Ella from the UK. This is going to be my third video about my journey to HIgh ulcerative colitis with HIgh Carb Health, based on the book Healing Colitis and Crohn's by David Klein. Sorry, I don't have the book here to show you. A bit too lazy to get up and get it, but if you watch my other videos, I held it up to the camera so you can see it. So it's been a while, a couple of months actually, since I did my last video. So I've been on this program to heal my ulcerative colitis for about 4 months now. My last video, I think I was about 6 weeks in. So it's been quite a while, like I must be, 16 weeks in now. And the good news is I haven't not been posting because I've been really sick or anything like that. I guess I'm not very good with consistency, and also just not a fan of technology. That's why these videos are so bleh, whatever. But I did want to update for myself so that I can look back, and for anybody else, like a couple of people have asked how I'm going and that kind of thing. So I was on 1 tablet of mesasaline last time I did my video. I'm now med free. I basically realised I was kind of making excuses to not drop that last tablet. The timing was never ever going to be perfect, so in the end I just went for it. I was totally fine. I had 3 weeks where I had absolutely no symptoms, so off all medication, had absolutely no symptoms whatsoever, felt great, even had like a cheat meal, had no reaction. And again, like I discussed in my last video, I found the fact that I was fine almost difficult, because I felt like, well, I can do whatever I want. Like, yeah, I can go have this cheat meal. And a big thing for me has been the food and giving it up, and not giving up other foods that people might struggle with, like meat and dairy. They've been long gone. I was vegan before I started this, but I just love eating out in restaurants. So I kind of hit a plateau, and I felt like nothing's happening. I felt a bit meh myself, like everything was just static, and nothing was happening. And I was like, well, maybe I'm not going to detox. You know, Shami said to me, every time you go to the toilet, you are detoxing. But I just felt like things weren't right. And basically, I have this lady, which I'll do another post on. I'm going to do a post on all the kind of psychological, mental, energetic stuff that I've realised and that's helped me along the way. But I see this lady for something called chakra-puncture. She's also a life coach. She's been incredible. And just to give you an insight into her, I started seeing her before this program, but I'd given up dairy. I went in there one day having eaten dairy, and she knew within 30 seconds of me speaking that I'd had dairy. Like, weird. But anyway, so she kind of read from me that, yeah, everything was a bit static, and she basically said it's because you're not committing to it. She said at work I wasn't committing, which was true. I was feeling really lethargic, really tired, kind of counting down the minutes that I could leave work. On this program I wasn't committed to it. I was kind of like, oh, well, I can just have this cheat meal here, have this cheat meal there. And as soon as I actually committed to it, so I was like, right, no more cheat meals, going to actually do this, like, need to focus, and focused on it, I started to detox. So that just shows how your mentality can actually affect you. I was holding myself back from detoxing, and the same thing, I then went to work and I had the best day I've had. Like, I put my everything into everything I did, and rather than feeling more tired, I felt more energized. But anyway, as I said, another post on that. So I started to detox probably about 3 weeks after I came off my medication, and it was nothing too big, just that I noticed the feeling of urgency, which I just hadn't had before. And so psychologically I was just like, right, if I need to have a bowel movement, I want to go to the toilet quickly. And then some of my bowel movements were a bit yellowy, which Shameen says is kind of fine. I think I potentially was going like 1 more time a day. I was going maybe between 2 to 4 max times a day, so nothing major there. Occasionally quite often probably a tiny bit of blood, like a tiny bit, like a 1 pence coin sized. And sometimes they were looser or skinnier than normal. But yeah, so other than that, things going fine, didn't really affect how I felt. I was really pleased, like really positive. That carried on for probably about 3 weeks actually, and in that time again I felt like things were plateauing, and I don't even know if that's how you say it. I keep using this word a lot. But anyway, and I went and saw this lady again, blah, 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 and she tells me stuff that I already know. I just don't want to know it. Basically, I was eating a lot. Like, I actually managed to put on weight on this program while everyone else is out there, like, worried about losing loads of weight, because I can really eat. And I was, like, stuffing food in because I think I kind of, again, something else I'll discuss another time, because of past things like migraines, chronic fatigue. I've always been told, like, food will help you. Like, you'll get a migraine if you get low blood pressure. So I have this thing where if I'm not well, need to eat food. So I was really eating loads, and actually I don't think my digestive system was getting the break that it needed. So she said not only did my digestive system need a break, so I needed a break kind of energetically, which again I'll explain in another post, but it meant giving myself space, not constantly having music playing and stuff like that. But anyway, so I started cutting down my food and felt hungry, but I also am not scared of hunger anymore like I used to be. And basically all I was doing was I've been leaving 2 hours between my meals, which I was not doing before, and that's not a crazy thing to do. Like, so don't worry, I haven't actually been starving myself, but I needed to do that, and I definitely reaped the benefits. So then about 5 days ago, so 15 weeks in more or less, I'd say things just stepped up a notch. There's blood every time I go to the toilet. It's not like filling the toilet like bright red, but there's quite a lot there. I'm sorry, this is going to be graphic, but I mean, for people with ulcerative colitis, if you're watching this, I don't know if it's helpful or not to know what symptoms I'm getting, but I'm just going to go for it. So when I go to the toilet, the good news is nothing smells. I haven't had any awful smells. Like, I'd say other people that are healthy going to the toilet is like so much worse than this. So that's why I don't feel gross disgusting it as well. What I kind of get is what I would call detritus. So it's like a red cloud in the bottom of the toilet. And then what I've found now, which I'm finding really annoying, and it's what's tiring me out, is that I don't just sit down and go to the toilet. Like, I have some pain, I feel uncomfortable, I have to sit there for a while, and then it's like I'm not finished, and then a bit comes out, and then I have to wait. And this is happening during the night time in particular, which is why I'm getting quite worn out. It's really strange that it calms down a bit during the daytime. I'm trying to count how many bowel movements I'm having a day, but I just forget. So I went to the toilet maybe 4 times last night, but obviously I have to sit there. It's the middle of the night. I was actually reading the ingredients on my all this natural like skincare I have and stuff to entertain myself. I need to get the magazine in there. So yeah, so that's happening during the night, which just means that I'm really tired and frustrated. During the day it hasn't been as bad, which is really good, but I've been lying so low during the day. Tomorrow I'm back at work, so it will be really interesting to see what happens and how that is. And I'm actually a little bit worried about my energy. Like, I totally get that I'm going to have low energy, but it doesn't come across in this video, and I know that, but I feel like when I look in the mirror I should be a skeleton. I should be emaciated and be like almost see-through. It's like my body feels like it isn't getting what it needs. Now, I've had chronic fatigue, and this is a completely different feeling. This feeling is more like if you've had flu and you haven't eaten for like a week or so and your body's really weak, and that's kind of how I feel. Like, I wonder if my blood pressure's a bit low. Well, I know it probably is, because every time I stand up I can't see for about 10 seconds. I just have to close my eyes, wait, and my vision comes back. I've been going really hot and cold at night and sweating. I got this itch, like my whole body starts itching, which has been driving me a little bit mad. I feel like other than that, it's fine. So I am fine. I'm totally okay. This is manageable. I would like to speak to Shamiz and Shakul, and they know that. I'm going to speak to them soon. Unfortunately, we had to cancel our appointment today, and I can't speak to them for a few days. It's not massive because, you know, I don't think I'm going to drop dead or anything. But for me, where I've got a past of chronic fatigue and stuff, I know that my body can only take so much before it almost like stops working. And I kind of want to know I don't know how long my body will handle this. I'm fine at the moment. I just want to sleep a lot. And the thing is, I know that they can't predict anything, but I would kind of like to know what measures we put in place, particularly because last time I ended up in hospital, interesting enough, I obviously do have some kind of trauma from that, because at one point when I went to the toilet and it reminded me of that, I felt so anxious, and I'm over that now, and my anxiety is fine, but it's not something I want to repeat, which is exactly why I'm doing this program, because I feel like, you know, whatever meds I'm on in my life, I'm going to end up flaring again. I'm going to end up in hospital again. So why not make this the last time, and the time that actually heals me, rather than just keep going through it in my life. And I think when things get tough, that's what I'm going to tell myself. And that is why I'm doing it, because of that bad experience. So it's not for me to sit here and be scared that's going to happen. And I know a lot of people don't want to do the program because they're worried about getting worse. But you have to get worse to get better. But it's going to be the last time it happens, you know? So that's what I'm telling myself. God, I've gone off on a tangent. Weight loss is another thing that freaks a lot of people out. I was worried about it because I'm 5'9", 175 centimetres, quite skinny at the moment. I weigh 135 pounds. I've lost maybe like 4 kilograms, so I've been really lucky. Like, I haven't lost very much, but oh, that does look a bit weird, but I do have really long arms. Yeah, I haven't lost very much, but what I say and what I understand to people is that basically it is going to happen. You are going to lose weight. You just have to forget about this mentality that like losing weight is so bad. Like I said, if you have a flare up and you end up in hospital, you're going to lose weight anyway. This is losing weight for a positive thing. The toxins are stored in your fat cells, so those fat cells have got to go. And then once you start healing, they will build up again. So it's temporary. It's just something that you have to go through. And again, I'm saying this, but who knows if I like lose more weight, how I'll feel. But I do know that. Yeah, so kind of that's where I'm at now. I have some questions. I mean, I've been bleeding for about 3 weeks, starting to feel very like crappy. My appetite's really reduced as well, which is extremely unusual for me. I think my tummy's kind of shrunk, but I want to make sure that I'm getting enough. Like, I made myself have a smoothie earlier because I know that my body won't cope well with like exhaustion if I haven't been eating and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of the update for anybody that's asking, and I'll let you know. I mean, it could get so much worse. It could gradually get better. I can't predict what's going to happen. At the moment, it's manageable. I would still recommend it to people. It is scary, purely because I know with me in the past, I'm like this. I stay, and then suddenly, like that, I'm like acute and in hospital and this and that. And I kind of want to know how. I'm going to speak to Shamiz and Shakur and find out, like, if you know what goes on, how we manage that. And in my next video, I'll let you know what's going on, and I'll try and actually do a next video. So yeah, that is the update. I have to say as well, having spoken to Shamiz, my journey so far has been a bit different and has been a bit unusual. I think people normally start their detox much quicker and much sooner than I do. I mean, I took it very, very slow and have been very, very chilled, and I felt like that's the right thing for me. But it's not always like that for everyone. So this is just what's happening to me. Yeah, bit knackered, feel a bit meh, but I'll be alright. Thank you for watching, and if you've got any questions, just post them in the comments.